The member's time has expired.
Thank you.
I call Scott Simpson.
Mr Speaker, it's a pleasure to take a call in this debate on the Prime Minister's statement, and it's particularly a pleasure to follow my friend and colleague Chris Ockenvale from the West Coast, who is such a staunch champion and advocate for all things on the coast, including economic growth and hard work and determination. And he has been and continues to be one of the coast's great advocates in this House, and when he retires at the election this year, we're going to miss him. And so, Chris, it's a pleasure to follow you in this debate. He is a member that understands basic economics, and he poured out a $20 bill, and for a Scotsman that can be sometimes quite an unusual thing, a $20 bill, and tried to rip it in half. I'm sure he's never tried that before, but it was a good thing. Sir, I rise to support the Prime Minister's very excellent statement to Parliament from a week or two ago. And as we enter this election year, we as a government on this side of the House are firmly focused on achieving a strong economy, more jobs, better health and education services, a safer New Zealand for all New Zealanders, and of course we remain completely committed to the rebuilding of Christchurch. So, sir, as we enter this election year, New Zealanders will be faced with a stark contrast in their decision-making when it comes to the ballot. They will be making a decision as to whether they wish to continue with a national government. Do they trust John Key to lead them again into a third term? Do they trust this national government? Or do they want to put it all at risk on a Labour, Green, New Zealand First, Hone, Kim.com type coalition arrangement? And, sir, I'm absolutely sure that the news that the people of Coromandel are telling me is that, in fact, they won't want to put it at risk with that hodgepodge bunch on the opposition side, because the risk is too great. The risk is too great, and it's also a risk that they will not want to take. Sir, although I'm a relatively new member in this House, I've been involved and interested in politics for a very long time. And, sir, I'm old enough to remember being told about a fellow by the name of Bill Rowling back in 1975. And at that stage there was a guy called Mike Moore who was the Labour member for Eden, and I was going to school and being raised in Eden. And I remember at that time my parents being involved in that election campaign, and that guy Bill Rowling offered, surprise, surprise, a baby bonus bribe. Not at all unlike the baby bonus bribe offered by the current leader of the Labour Party, one David Cunliffe. And so, sir, I'm very confident that the New Zealanders won't be bribed with their own money by this most recent iteration of a Labour leader, just as they weren't bribed by Bill Rowling. But there is one similarity that I think I'd like to draw to the attention of the House between Bill Rowling's time in 1975, his short time as leader of the Labour Party, and his current Labour leader here in Parliament, David Cunliffe. I heard a speech from my friend and colleague Jamie Lee Ross earlier today, and it struck me then that Jamie Lee Ross was not born when Annette King and Phil Goff and Trevor Mallard entered this House. Jamie Lee Ross was not yet born. However, there are some similarities, as I say. You were one. Nikki Kay, the member for Auckland Central, was aged one. But I tell you what, the similarities between Bill Rowling and David Cunliffe are these: that both Bill Rowling in 1975 and David Cunliffe in 2014 see Annette King, Phil Goff and Trevor Mallard as young up-and-rising stars in a future Labour government. And they want to bring people who are entering their fourth decade of Parliament into this future for them. It's scary. It's absolutely scary. They see them as up-and-comers. But, sir, I want to spend a minute talking about the Green Party and their current problems with being donkey-deep in dodgy doings all around our mate Kim.com and the Kim.com mansion. And I'm keen to know now, Mr Speaker, how many visits was it that Russell Norman made to the Kim.com mansion. He's admitted to two. He's admitted to 2 secret visits, but he seems now to be unsure of whether there were phone calls and what was discussed at those meetings and what was there. What I'm keen to know is, was there some kind of discussion about campaign funding? And was there, well, we know there was a discussion. There was clearly a discussion, because it's a matter of public record. There was a discussion about, let's not have a Kim.com party because it's going to impact on the Green Party vote. And so what I want to know, Mr Speaker, is what else was discussed? What other dodgy, dirty deals were done at the Kim.com mansion? Now, we've also decided, or we've heard, that Winston Peters has also been a recent visitor to the Kim.com mansion. And he's been there, not answering questions about how many times he's been there, but he admits that he's been there, he admits that he's been to dinner there and that he had a pleasant evening, and I see that that's been confirmed on the wonderful thing called the Twitter sphere this afternoon. But what's also happening on the Twitter sphere this afternoon is that one Jacinda Ardern seems to be very reluctant to answer questions about her involvement and connections with Kim.com. I wonder why, says Maggie Barry. How many visits to the Kim.com mansion has Jacinda Ardern made? How many other meetings have taken place between that frontbench Labor MP and Kim.com? What was discussed? What was promised? What was offered? These are questions that the New Zealand public and this House really need answers to. And so, no, as far as I'm aware, Maggie Barry, she hasn't fronted up, but I'm sure she will in the fullness of time, because the public want to know the answers to those questions. And so, as we ask questions about how many phone calls, how many meetings and how much dodgy doings have been done, the good people of Coromandel have had a very pleasant summer. And what I've been hearing from the good people of Coromandel is that they like the new Kopu Bridge. We no longer get news reports every Friday evening on a long weekend that traffic is building up on the Kopu Bridge, and we no longer get news reports on a Monday evening after a long weekend that traffic is building up on the Kopu Bridge. And that's largely due to the foresight and imagination and hard work of this national government. And what that's done is it's built a bridge to a brighter future for Coromandel, and I'm very pleased that in the Coromandel people are reaping the rewards of it. It means a smooth summer for literally hundreds of thousands of New Zealanders who holiday in my part of the world. And, sir, also this summer, people have been enjoying the Hauraki Rail Trail in record numbers. Part of the National Cycleway project, the new Hauraki Rail Trail is breathing new life into places like Te Aroha, Pairoa, Waihi and Thames. Just last week, sir, I went to the opening of a new chalet motel accommodation facility in Te Aroha, and I can assure members in the House that it's been a very long time since any new accommodation facility has been built in Te Aroha. Sir, in conclusion, I just want to mention the very good work that is being done by the National Party's Justice team, made up of the Minister of Justice Judith Collins, the Attorney General Chris Finlayson, Anne Tolley as Minister of Police and Corrections, and of course Chester Burrows as Minister for Courts and Associate Justice. This is a team that is putting order into the chaos that was the legacy of Labor's left behind 5 and a bit years ago, and we're bringing some order to that disarray. We've got record low crime, we've got a modernisation of our court system, and we've got new policies that are ensuring that access to justice is open, fair and easy for all New Zealanders. And ultimately, the most important thing, Mr Speaker, is that in our justice system, in the new justice system, victims are put first. And I think that's exactly as it should be. So this year, Mr Speaker, there is a stark choice for New Zealand voters. I'm confident and I know that they will make the right choice and re-elect John Key and this national government at the election this year.
Well said, well said, well said.
I call Kanwaljit Singh Bakshi.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.